Hi, today is going to be the first in a series of short videos about the common mindset mistakes that divorce coaches like myself often see clients make in the divorce process and how to avoid some of these pitfalls. So the series is meant to help you see where you might be falling into some of the common mistakes that people succumb to when they're divorcing. Having an awareness of the mindset flaws behind these can help you modify your thinking and behavior and hopefully to achieve a more optimal outcome. So today we're going to talk about the number one mindset mistake in divorce, the take it or leave it, deal or no deal mindset. So this is when you may find yourself, and many of us have been here. You may find yourself digging in your heels when it comes to any collaboration between yourself and your spouse. This may start early on. This may be part of your litigation process if your case is in litigation. So thoughts like, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm done listening to you, it's my way or no way at all, I've already made as many concessions as I'm going to make, I'm done. I'm not interested in what you have to say. This is what I'm willing to do. Things like that. Okay. Or maybe you're on the opposite end of a spouse who's taking that take it or leave it approach with you. So how can this negatively impact both of you? Because it does impact both of you, right? So this shows up in increased legal costs, right? The inability for you to see a good deal when it's right in front of you, okay, because the mindset is blocking you from seeing it clearly. Building resentment in your spouse, right? And that can actually end up snowballing and drawing out the process even more, okay? So that can mean things like additional court hearings, etc., increased legal cost, right? So remember, the longer this is drawn out, the more expensive it becomes financially and emotionally, okay? Because remember, the anger and resentment this brings out can have a lasting impact on you, on your spouse, and especially on children if you have them, okay? All right, so let's talk about this. So what if you're the one who's stuck in this deal or no deal mindset, okay? Try thinking about your situation. Think about the solution that you're stuck on. Okay. What is important to you about this? How is your solution different than what your spouse wants? Like, how do they want things to go? Have you mentioned this issue to your attorney? And if you have, what is their advice? Okay, so asking yourself these questions can help you become aware of how strongly you're feeling about this subject. Okay, so you're finding that you're pretty attached to this stance, right? Now, I want you to explore how you will make this situation work if it goes the way you want it to. Can you realistically make this work? Is this decision in the best interest of your children? Okay. How will they deal with this decision? How will it affect them? Is your stance really feasible? And does it ultimately get you what you want? Okay, so in thinking about these things, it helps to think about what the conflict is actually about. So thoughts like, I always let him get away with this. I always let him get away with things, or, haven't I already given her enough? These may indicate that you're feeling a loss of control, okay? Or you're afraid maybe of being taken advantage of in this situation. All very healthy, normal feelings, okay? So thinking about, what are you protecting yourself from? Is it possible to look at this situation differently? So if you can identify what it is you truly want from the situation, can you still get it and still reach an agreement by giving your spouse potentially what it is that they want. All right, so things to think about. Now, let's talk about if you're on the receiving end of the spouse who won't budge. Okay, you may be feeling frustrated, worn down by their resistance to compromise, or, even have a productive conversation with you. Okay, it can be very frustrating, right? So, after all, you can't control the other person. So what can you do? Okay, so first of all, you do have some power in influencing how the other person responds to you. It may help to try revisiting in your mind the conversation that you have had with your spouse, or kind of the dialogue that keeps happening around this particular issue. Recall, if you can, how their words made you feel. What about what was said is triggering to you or important to you? Now think about how you want the conversation to go instead. You know your spouse pretty well. Okay, you've been married. They might not be acting like the person that you knew, okay, but you do know their tendencies, you know their hot buttons, etc. Okay, so what feelings do you think are behind their position? Are they angry? Are they fearful? Unsure? What was your initial assumption of what they said? Do you think maybe, okay, that there are other assumptions that could be made? How do you typically respond when this conversation arises? What are other ways you could think about to respond? How would you respond at your best? Okay, when you are acting as you at your best, what would that response look like? So when we respond at our best, we know that we are because we tend to feel more aligned with that response. Okay, we can feel the difference. So how much better would that response feel? And what might the result of the conversation be in that case? So these are some questions to ask yourself and to think about. For either mindset, it helps to project things into the future a bit, okay? So you're in the muck of it right now, okay? But how do you want to feel in the future about the way things were handled now? Is it possible that thinking about things differently now might help you set things up better for your future? Maybe. Right? So, both sides can consider also pulling in additional resources, okay? Firing up attorneys on both sides may not be the choice you want to make, okay? If the two of you are unable, even though you're using the techniques we've gone through, if you're unable to reach an agreement or even effectively communicate because of this issue, are there experts you can go to for additional help? Okay, divorce coaches like myself are a great resource. Okay, they can work with you or your spouse individually or together to help you clarify your intentions, to help facilitate looking at things differently. Okay, also a family therapist or counselor can help you both learn ways to communicate more effectively. Okay, they can also bring members of the family in to gain perspective on the situation. Sometimes when we look at how our behaviors and attitudes are affecting those we love most, like our children, right? Or our extended family, sometimes that can be a wake-up call to change for us. So, also cooling off, okay, in ways that are healthy can help you modify your thinking patterns and behavior. Divorce, it can be extremely stressful. You're trying to manage if you have children together, you're trying to manage your children, trying to figure out what you're going to do with the house. You're physically separating from each other. It's stressful and it's difficult. Okay. So none of us are at our best when we are stressed out, as we all know, right? And when we're stressed, we don't sleep well. Oftentimes we don't eat well. We might not be getting outside. We might not be exercising. We may be relying on things like alcohol or food to decompress and unwind, okay? And so we can fall into unhealthy habits, and that only exacerbates our stress, right? It's not helping really. And maybe temporarily it feels like it is, but over time, those things just make us more tired, less resilient, okay? So finding ways to relax and take care of yourself are crucial during this time. Getting enough sleep, getting some exercise, eating well, things like journaling or meditating so that you can process, these feelings that you're carrying around with you every day. Having positive social interactions like meeting with a good supportive friend, okay, or a support group or meetup for people who are going through the same experiences you're going through. Okay, all of these can set you up to be in a good place to behave collaboratively with your spouse. All right, remember, first and foremost, you have to take care of yourself. Okay? Take care of yourself. This is hard. Be gentle and understanding with yourself. Things will not always be like this. Okay? So remember to take deep breaths, take your time so that you can be deliberate with your thoughts and actions, because how you handle things today will directly impact how you feel about this experience in the future. I hope you found the material in this video helpful. Please subscribe below for more videos with helpful tips on how to navigate your divorce experience. And I will be posting more videos, more short videos like this one, about some of the common mistakes people can make in their divorce process. All right, until next time, take care.